Okay, so just okay. So guys, now yesterday what we did was we created an extended application onto our Eclipse, and then we uploaded that onto our okay. So and it was uploaded. Just a minute, I guess I got a call from Chavi. No, not a call, but mail from. Just a minute. Okay, so yesterday what we did was we just created an extended application onto our Eclipse, and then we uploaded that onto our NetWeaver gateway. So now from my NetWeaver gateway, I can go into the transaction SEAT, and I can see that particular BSP application and the source code inside the BSP application, and I can also go inside the SICF transaction, and from there I can run execute test that particular node, and I can also see that particular application getting run in my Google Chrome browser, which is getting executed runtime from my NetWeaver gateway. So if I go onto my NetWeaver gateway in the SICF, not sure about the name, I guess the demo custom. So if I just click on test, it should get open, and at the same time let me also open. Okay. Okay, so this is an extended application. You can see, that I have opened this extended application from my NetWeaver gateway. So you can see the IP address and the port of my NetWeaver gateway. But now this is a standalone application, So if I want the end user to use this application, I will have to provide this separate URL to the end user. And then when he opens this particular URL onto his browser, he would be able to see the application. But my ultimate mission, what I want is I do not want to have separate application or separate URLs for separate applications. I have a central repository in terms of Fiori Launchpad, and I want that the user should log in inside the Fiori Launchpad, and whatever application that is assigned to should be available inside this central hub. So now what I actually want is that when he logs into this Launchpad, if a proper role is assigned to that particular user, that particular application, the extended application, should be available over here as a tile. So when he clicks on that particular tile, your whatever the application that got opened in over here, the same application should get open in my Fiori Launchpad. So this is what ultimately I want. So today we are going to I will just say a revision we are going to do, because we have already done this. If you remember, we have uploaded a custom application onto the Launchpad. Now we are uploading an extended application onto the Launchpad. So things are not going to change, things are going to remain quite the same. So it's just a recap that we are going to do end to end, that how an extended application or how an application which is developed or modified by you can be brought onto the Fiori Launchpad. So let's have a look into that. So first of all, you will go into the system, in the transaction called as SPRO, and over there you will go into the NetWeaver, then UI technologies, SAP Fiori, define navigation targets, then define semantic objects for navigation. Okay, so over here you will create a semantic object for your extended application. So either you can use any one of the existing, but preferably for every Fiori application, it is preferred to create a new semantic object. So let's create a semantic object with the name Z semantic, and let's give today's date, that is 9415. So let me just copy this, give the same name as well, and the description I will also keep it as same. And at the same time, I would also like to maintain the same in my notepad, because later on we would require this information of the semantic object. So I have also maintained into my notepad. So once you do this, once you give some name over here, just click on save, and the semantic object got created. Okay, so this is the first step. You will create a semantic object for your extended application. The next step that you're going to do is you will go in the transaction called as LPD underscore cast. And over here, either you can use any of the existing launchpad instance, or you can click on new launchpad and create a new launchpad instance for your extended application. So let's create a new one. So let's give the name as, or if existing one is there, let's use the existing one only, because we have already saw how to create a new one and use it in our previous class. So if something is there to be used, a custom one, let's use that. I guess we can use this testing demo purpose. Okay, let's use this. So if I click on this, there is already one application present. Okay, so let's add one more. TPO, let's give some name for this application, TPO extended. Let's give some description, 9. Application type, always you need to select as URL. Sorry guys, just got disconnected. So I was speaking about the URL. So, oh, even the connection got lost. Just a minute. Let me try to my NetWeaver gateway again. SAP GUI. So let's give a name, TPO extended. Description is over here always as URL, and then the URL that you have to specify over here you will get from the browser which you just opened from the SICF node. So this is what you will have to specify, till Z demo custom. Very important, there should not be any extra spaces. Then you will click on, then one more important information that you have to specify is the additional information part. That is the name of your component.js file. You will have to specify it over here. So if you remember, in the extended project component.js, there was one section at the top which was called as the declaration section, wherein you were defining the names along with the namespace, the complete relative path of your component.js. So that is what you have to specify it over here. So what will happen, at runtime, whenever you click on a tile, the tile will connect to this particular URL. Inside this URL, it will try to search for the component.js that you would be specifying it over here. And then from the component.js, it will load, because in the component.js, you are loading your standard application. If you remember, there is a second part wherein you load the standard application. So basically what happens when you click on a tile, the tile connects to this particular URL. Inside this URL, it searches for the component.js. From this component.js, it will load the standard component.js and the standard application. So this is how the things work. So over here, you need to specify the component.js information. So from where will you get it? Either you can refer to your Eclipse or you can refer to your SCAT transaction to get that information. So SCAT, this is our application. We will open the component.js file. So this is it. This is what we need to specify, the actual path. So first I have to give it SAP UI5. So this is the naming convention dot component is equal to. Okay, no extra spaces need to be ensured. So sap.ui5.component. So the component of your UI5 component.js file is present over here inside the above URL. Okay, so this three important information. Along with that, yeah, one more thing, that is the application alias. That is a unique identifier for the application that you're just creating right now. So let me give as let's say Z TPO today's date. Also, let me copy that into my notepad because later on I would be using it. Okay, that's it. Then I will just click on save. So you can see one more application got added inside the existing Launchpad instance. That is GUX01mm instance. Okay. So now I will go into my Launchpad designer. So let me open my Launchpad designer. Okay, so over here now I have to add that particular application inside my catalog, which I just registered inside my NetWeaver gateway. So either I can use any of the existing catalogs or I can create a new catalog. I've already seen the example of how to add an application in a new catalog. So let's this time try to add this application inside an existing catalog. So let's use this one, or let's create a new one only because other applications are also there, even they will come up. So let's give a new name, Z So this is what I have given the name as for my catalog, and also let me just maintain it into my notepad because later on I would be requiring that information. Just click on save. So this is my semantic object, this is alias, and this is the name of the catalog. Okay. So an empty catalog got created with no static tiles and with no target mappings. So first of all, let me add a target mapping. So I'll create a target mapping. Then I have to specify now the name of this semantic object that will mask the actual URL. So I have to just, type in the name. So I guess this was the name, Z semantic 9415. Yes. So Z semantic 9415. And this action, it can be anything. Okay. So it can be anything, but the SAP's convention is that you should give a verb over here, a verb, any verb it can be, but it should be a verb over here. So you can give anything. So let's say I will give it as a track only because it is a track purchase order application. So let me give as track. So now over here I have to specify the launchpad role, launchpad instance, and application alias. So application alias is this, which I have maintained. So I'll just specify the application alias. Then the launchpad role inside which the application was registered. So this is the launchpad role. So can I copy that? No, let me just type that out. Z, it's case sensitive, very important to note that. GUI X01 FM. So GUI X01 GUIX01 mm. Okay, and the launchpad instance is transactional. You can see over here. So again, just check the spelling. TRANSACTION, transactional. Okay, so I'll just click on save. So this is the important information that you need to specify, and then in the tiles as well, how that particular, the tile should look inside your Fiori launchpad. So you will just specify that particular information. Let's say the title should be track purchase order. Extended track purchase order. Let's give the subtitle as today's date, that is 9415. We can give some icon as well. So let's give this as the icon. And you can specify some information if you want to. That is all non-mandatory thing. But over here, you need to specify this very important thing, that is a semantic object and the action. So the same semantic object that you define in the target mapping, that is 9415, and the same action that you defined over there, that was track. So now if I click on save, so you can see this is how my application will look. Okay, so now the target mapping and tile designing, everything is done. So now I can again Now I have to, make this application available for this particular user. So I will assign this catalog to my end user. So I will go again now to my NetViewer gateway system, onto my NetViewer gateway, and over there I will PFCG. So I can either create a custom role or I can use any of the roles which are already available. So already there are many roles, so let me use this one. Is it there? Okay, so it's not there. Let's create a role with this name, Z demo catalog role, single role, and in the menu tab I will SAP Fiori tile catalog. Over here I need to specify the name of my catalog. So in my notepad I maintain that. So this is the catalog that I want to assign to this user, Z catalog 9415. So I'll just assign it, click on tick, and then in the user just type in that particular user's name to whomever I want to assign to. So now if I come back, and now if I go onto my launchpad now, if I just refresh it, one question for you guys. What do you think? Should I be able to see that particular application onto my launchpad straight away? Guys? Or have I missed something, or it should be visible?
No, it will be visible in tile catalog only.
Correct. So if I want to see this particular application, it won't be visible over here. I'll have to go inside the tile catalog repository and add that particular tile. Correct. So the catalog should be visible. So this is the catalog that is assigned, so it is visible. So I have to add in either some of the groups which is already present into my home page, or I can create a new group. Let me just add in the my home tile. So my home over here, you can see now the application is added, extended track purchase order. So if I open this, if everything is fine, my extended application should be open. So you can see with the perfect functionality, with the everything getting mapped properly. I'm opening the extended application, but since this extended application is linked to the standard application, I'm also able to see the standard source, I mean the standard functionalities along with the extended functionalities that I've added in the extension project. So if I just remove that again, okay, so I'm removing it. So now it's not visible. So now what I want is I want to make it straight away visible to the end user, so you don't have to go into the catalog and do that particular thing of adding the application from the catalog into the group. So I can create a new group, or I can use the existing one. So let me just create a new group. Z, sorry, click on save. Maintain this information to my notepad as well. Just a minute, guys. Okay, sorry guys. So I guess this group already exists, so it's giving an error with a duplicate name. So let me just, okay, so the group is already there. Let's use the same group that to add our application. So let's add some application from that particular catalog, C catalog 9415, and this is the application. So it's added, it's over here. So now if I go onto my that particular role, and over here I will, along with this catalog, add one more thing, that is the group. So let's give the name as, so the group name was 9415. Where is it? Okay, so it is not still updated. Let me just come back out of this. Should have been updated. Yeah, so it's there now, Z group 9415. So I've added this, the user is already there, and save it. So now if I refresh the application, I should be able to see the application straight away into the end user's launchpad inside a new group. 9415. If I click on it, if everything is perfect, it will get loaded. Any questions up till now, guys? Ramani, Niranjan,
Clear, Jason.
are you able to recall whatever I did today? The concept of semantic, the concept of LPD underscore cast, launchpad designer, target mapping, and static tile designing. Anything that you're not able to recall, you want a revision, a small revision onto that, anything?
Yeah, I already did that.
Just one thing, Jigar. Whatever you did today, if you can just, maybe like a couple of minutes, because got diverted to something.
So, do you want me to show that again?
Just the steps. If you can tell me the steps or show me the steps, that's fine.
Yeah, steps. So basically, first you will go into your NetWeaver gateway. Okay, inside your NetWeaver gateway, first of all, you will create a semantic object. So you will create a semantic object by using this pro transaction, and over there you can just create a semantic object. Second thing, then you will go to your LPD underscore cust transaction, same onto the NetWeaver gateway only. You will go into the LPD underscore cust transaction, and over there, either you can create a new launchpad instance, or you can use any of the existing one which are present inside that particular page. So if let's say you create a new one, you will give some name to your launchpad instance, and then you will inside this launchpad instance, you will add your application, your extended application. So as a part of adding the application inside the launchpad instance, what you're going to do actually, you're going to add three important information. That is let me just open that. Sorry, not this. Okay. So over here, you will add this new application over here. And as a part of adding the application, you will give three important information. That is the URL of your application. You will give an application alias, and you will give the name of your component.js file, which is there inside this particular URL. That is, which is there inside this particular BSP application. So you have to specify that particular name. So you can see, when we were designing the extended application, we give this particular name. So that name of component.js you will have to specify. Okay, so this is your second step that you will have to do, adding the application inside the Launchpad instance of your LPD underscore cust transaction. Then as a part of third step, you will go now into the Launchpad designer, and then either you can again create a new catalog, or in the existing catalog, you will have to maintain the target mapping and the tile information. Both of that you have to maintain. And then you can create a group, and inside the group, either you can create a new group or again use the available one, and in that particular group you need to add your application. And then the last part, that is the fourth step, is then go into your PFCG transaction and assign the role to the end user, whoever you want to make this particular catalog and this particular group available. That is, whoever you want to make this particular application available onto the Launchpad, assigned to that particular user the corresponding role. So basically 4 important steps you need to do in order to bring it onto your Fiori Launchpad. Bring the extended application onto the Fiori Launchpad.
Okay.
Okay. One last thing that I didn't cover for you people, I just forgot to tell you about that. Now, in the target mapping, if I open this target mapping, now if you see, I have maintained the information of the Launchpad role, the Launchpad instance, and the application alias. So when I maintain this, actually what happens, at runtime, when I click on the tile connects to the target mapping. From the target mapping, it collects all this information, and using this information, it connects to the LPD, it connects to the NetWeaver gateway, and in the NetWeaver gateway, it tries to search this particular Launchpad role. Inside this Launchpad role, it tries to search for this application alias. And inside this application alias, if you remember, you have maintained the information of your URL of your application and your component.js file name. So at runtime, it gets the URL and the name of the component.js, which is required to open the application from this piece of information. So this is what happens. So usually what happens, you indirectly specify the URL over here. So you just specify the LPD underscore cust information over here, and then at runtime, using this information, it connects to that particular Launchpad instance, and from there it gets the URL and the name of the component.js. But there is an alternative for that as well. If you click on the SAP UI5 Fiori app, then rather than creating a Launchpad instance onto the NetWeaver gateway and there maintaining the information of the URL and the component.js, you can maintain it over here as well. So straight away, whatever URL that I maintain, so let me see this. And the name of the component. So the name of the component was this. So I can ensure no extra spaces straight away over here only. And let's give some title. So this is more than enough. So now you do not need to have anything. You do not have to create. You can actually eliminate one step. So I told you there are totally 4 steps. So out of the 4 steps, you can eliminate one step of creating the LPD underscore cust instance inside your Launchpad, because over there, using that technique, you are indirectly getting the information of the URL and the component.js. But rather than going for that, you can straight away maintain the information over here only straight away, so that you can eliminate one step. And now if I go onto my Launchpad, I still would be able to see my application. If I refresh it, okay, I have not saved it. So now if I see over here, so the application will still get open. So you can do that as well. But the recommended step by SAP, what SAP recommend is always, indirectly, the indirect method, that is maintain an instance onto your gateway, and from there, just maintain the information of your Launchpad instance and application alias over here. So at runtime, indirectly, it will get the URL from the NetWeaver gateway. This is what SAP recommend, but you can go for any of the techniques. But if you see all of the standard Fiori applications, that is all of the standard Fiori catalogs, they all go for the this particular approach only, that is the SAP Fiori app approach only. Other SAP Fiori application using LPD_cust approach only. But you can also go for this as well if you desire to.
In the real system, is it allowed in development work during development time at our organization? Is it allowed the direct writing?
For development scenario?
In a development scenario, can we skip this particular standard thing?
Yes, definitely. Actually we do that. That's why I told you why this step, because for development scenario wherein we are always, as a developer, we are in a hurry to complete the things. So just for testing purpose, it is fine. You can just straight away, rather than creating application launchpad instance and then maintaining over here, straight away you can maintain the information over here only and test your application very fast. Okay, but when you move to production, just ensure that you prefer this technique wherein you create a launchpad instance, only one time activity it is, and over there you can then pull out the information. But yes, in development scenario, we rather usually go for this approach only, just to save our time and do it, achieve our things as fast as possible.
Is there any particular advantage of doing this one, or plus point? Any advantage of not skipping the other one, the LPD cust? Is there?
The only thing is that searching becomes a bit simpler. So now what happens? You might be having a collection of application. So later on, let's say let's consider
semantic objectives are assigned to what you are, or something like we can take a audit kind of thing.
Let me just explain you in a simple way. Let's say you have you have developed one custom Fiori application. Let's consider that thing. Okay. And now this Fiori application you have kept into many catalogs, because in your scenario, there are different catalogs that needs to be created, and the different type of catalogs you would be then assigning it to different set of users. So let's say you created 5 catalogs, and in all of the 5 catalogs you added this application. Okay, so later on, let's say there was a change in the URL, or there was a change in the component.js file by the developer. So now if you want to do any changes, okay, so you will have to manually go and do it in all of the 5 catalogs if you go and if you skip that step. But if you do not skip this step, then you can only change that in a single repository in the LPD_cust, and then by default, in all of the catalog that would get reflected. So that's why that's the major advantage of not skipping that thing, because it will act as a central repository. So any number of catalogs referring to this particular application which is maintained inside the LPD_cust repository, if there are any changes, you can do it. You got the point?
Yes. Yeah, I got it.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes, dear.
Hello?
Hello, Jigar. Am I audible? Okay. Hello, Jigar.
Hey guys, sorry, I guess there is some issue with my connectivity today.
Okay.
Sorry for that. So, do you got my point, Ramani? What I was trying to say?
I'm clear. I'm clear.
Okay. So, any other question, guys? So, this one part was actually, I just forgot to mention you when we were initially configuring the standard applications. So, I just came to know now. So, I just thought of covering that part. So, if I just share my screen, yeah. So, anything else? Any more questions for the day, guys?
I think I'm clear.
Good. Okay, great. So tomorrow now, yeah. Any question, Niranjan or Isha?
No questions.
So tomorrow our target would be, so now we have created or extended our application using the Fiori toolkit. So now the same thing we are now from tomorrow in the next couple of lectures we'll try to do it using SAP Web IDE. So let's see how things are going to be simpler and why SAP is marketing more on Web IDE and what are the things that they are promising that can be achieved easily using Web IDE. So let's we'll have a look onto that particular part tomorrow and day after tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll just have an introduction of what exactly is the Web IDE. We'll have a understanding of how Web IDE works, and then day after tomorrow we'll do some practical onto the Web IDE part of creating or of extending our Fiori application. Okay.
Yes.
So this is what our next couple of hours will be dedicated on. So that's it for the day, guys. So then let's meet tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. IST to 10 p.m. IST. Okay, guys.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.